Hey everybody, I'm coming in right now. We're going to do it up here in the annex today, but we're going to leave the door open and see what happens. And so I think most of these kids actually like hanging out with me enough that we might have some company. We'll see. Either way, it's going to be a short one. So let's see. I'm just going to sit on this chicken. I know, you hear that all the time, don't you? All right, let's see here. Let's make sure that these cameras are pointed in reasonable directions and that I can be reasonably heard. All right, that camera does not actually turn that direction. It has to go around the other way. Hi, kiddo. Hi, Tootie. Okay, bye. Bye, Tootie. All right, so am I audible? I guess that's the next question. Hang on here. All right, maybe. Sound check, yes. Okay, so I guess maybe sound check. Okay, audio good. Thank you. Thank you, Ed. All right. News. Let's see. Last weekend, we didn't get to do a mailbag, and I got called away just as I was starting to talk to you all. Oh, that's right. And one of the things I was starting to talk to you about is that we were going to tell you the dates for our spays and neuters. Hang on, I'll turn that camera all the way around. I should probably just change its angle, but we'll get to it. There we go. Now you can see little Tutu sitting next to me a little better. Okay. Oh, dates. Yes. Okay. Again, let's check my calendar real quick. I just want to make sure we've got what's actually here. So yeah, we're ringworm free finally, which is great. And it looks like the boys, including you, little buddy, are going to go get their spays and neuters on the 22nd. That's this next Thursday? This coming Thursday. So that's this Thursday. These guys are going to get their neuters, and then after that, it'll be a little bit easier around here, even though the girls will still be going into heat. And you may see some behavior as a result of that. We won't have any risk of anybody, getting pregnant, which is what we would like to avoid. Then it's going to be a little while before we get the girls in. June 10th and 12th is when we have them scheduled. So June 10th and 12th, that'll be the deal. Looking forward to all of that. But, it's great that we can finally do it. I think it's about time to try to get these kids adopted and see people get some applications in. I know they seem a little bit bigger than some of the kittens that we have adopted, but I assure you they are still kitten-sized. I know it's hard to tell because of the way that we keep all these cameras. They're smaller than you might think. Most of them are anyway. I'll tell you, Poncho is huge. He's a giant cat. He's just a big guy, but he's also very cute and friendly and playful, and they're all wonderful fun. So it's more about the personality, I think, anyway. And they've all got good personalities, They are a little bit more shy than a lot of kittens that we've had. Not every kitten. We've had a number of shy ones before too. These guys are definitely on the extreme end of the shy curve in general. I would say that Tutu is an exception, although Tutu doesn't like other cats very much. She growls at everybody, and then of course little buddy here, Blazer, is not shy at all. But the rest of them are all pretty shy. And I was noticing as I was chasing around, I've said that especially Jumper and Smock are the toughest, but all of them sort of require being chased around before I can pick them up or put them into a room or something if I want to put them away. None of them are just like, oh, we're going to stand there and let me pick them up. They all run away, like Eddie. I realized it's more than just Eddie, though, as this morning I was trying to get Maggie to go out of a room, and she also does that to me, and I never really think about it, but Maggie almost never just lets me pick her up. She sees me, and she sees me coming towards her, and she's got to run away, even if I try to act like I'm not going to pick her up. So I guess that's more of a common thing than I really give it credit for being. But that doesn't mean they're not snuggly. They all are. They love to sit on my lap. Even little Smock, who is the most shy of all. If I'm sitting down playing video games or hanging out in bed, she'll just come and snuggle up right on my lap. She loves it. So good kittens all around. I hope we get some good adopters for them. It would be real nice to see them all adopted before we move. That way we don't have to worry about giving them to another foster temporarily, which I would hate to do, but I'd do it if we had to. Speaking of, it's not right now. It's not looking so great on the house that we wanted. We got a second appraisal done because the problem was that the appraisal came in so low that it's just the bank basically won't finance us to buy the house at the price that we wanted because they're like, it's not worth that much. So we went through a lot of trouble to get a second bank and sort of get them to rush doing an appraisal of their own. Over the last week, we basically signed up with that bank on Monday and paid them to do the appraisal, and they had it done by yesterday, which is amazing speed. They really did put a rush on it for us, and I appreciate that. We also tried our best to stack the deck. I know our agent did. I know the seller's agent even contacted the bank and tried to sort of get them to give the appraisal the value that they thought that it was worth. And the bank did their best job of the appraisal, and it came in even lower, lots lower, like $100,000 lower than the first appraisal, which is a lot. And it has us basically thinking, well, it seems like if we've done it twice, we've got a pretty good sample. It doesn't seem like any bank is likely to appraise it at the amount that it is trying to sell for. Therefore, it doesn't seem like we're probably going to be able to get it. Now, technically, though, when we did sign the contract and the seller signed the contract with us, it does say that, you know, we offer to pay a certain amount above the bank appraisal. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm still willing to pay that amount above the bank appraisal. Either one, he could pick the low one if he wanted, would pay above that. But you know, assuming that he wanted the higher appraisal and to pay the amount that we said that we would, I still would like to honor, you know, my part of the contract. So if he feels the same way, you know, that he signed it and that's what he signed up for and that it's a good deal, which I think honestly it is a very good deal. Considering the two banks, he's not going to get anybody else to pay him as much as we're willing to. But it is a lot less than what I think he wanted. So, you know, either he sort of sees it as obligation because he signed it, or he sees it as the right thing to do because he's just not going to be able to do better. You know, there's still a chance that he's going to say, all right, let's keep going. But the alternative is that he could say, nope, you know, that's not the full price, so I'm just going to back out, which I think he's okay to do if that's his move. I feel like that's really being extra hopeful, though, because I can't imagine that anybody's going to give him the kind of deal that I'm still willing to give him. You know, this certain amount over what the highest bank appraisal would be is a very generous amount too. You know, not to bring numbers into it, but I think we're giving him a good deal. So I don't know. At this point, our agent still has to even take that to him and say, look, this is where we're at. You know, we're willing to do exactly what we said at the beginning, but we can understand if that's not something you're going to do. So, you know, we'll find out. It's just sad. It's a little sad. It's disappointing, I guess, because we really did love that place. But, you know, we've also got to say, look, we've got to be realistic. You know, we're offering to pay, I think, what's a very fair amount. And if it's not good for him, it's not good for us to go higher than that. It's not even probably good for us to go as high as we are. But, you know, we did promise to that, so there we are. Okay, enough about the house. We'll find out how all that goes and we'll let you know when we know. We're just hanging, still waiting. All right, I think that's everything for news. You can see we've only got 3 packages here, although there were a couple of other things that came in. I put this in my pocket so I could remember to thank Laura Kitten, who sent us 2 cases of Noodle that I didn't bring in from the car. The guy at the post office was like, just a warning, this one's a lot heavier than it looks. I can lift 2 cases of Noodle, it's not a big deal, but I just decided to leave it out in the car anyway because it was pretty heavy. So Laura, thank you. And then there was a letter that came that I did not bring in. It said on the outside of the letter, it said maybe not for Mailbag, and I appreciate that. It said on the outside to open it before Mailbag and check it out, which I did at the post office. And I want to say thank you for that warning because it was definitely not okay for Mailbag. It wasn't even really okay for me. I'm glad that you sent it, and you sent it because, as you had said, this is from M. Hobbit, by the way, the little note to remind me, M. Hobbit. M. Hobbit sent it because they had made a donation to their local shelter, and that's wonderful. And this little booklet was what they gave for the donation. They gave a little booklet that was telling the story of a cat. And it was, even though it had a happy ending, I presume, the note says that it has a happy ending, but it still might not be for Mailbag. I got as far as the second page before I teared up, and I'm like, I cannot read this. Even if it has a happy ending, I can't do it. Which is, I think that's fundamentally, the story behind our policy of no sads is, even if there's a happy ending, we try not to share those kinds of stories. And M. Hobbit knew that, which is why they wrote the warning, and I appreciate that quite a bit. But we try not to share those kinds of stories because even knowing that they have a good outcome, the things that you have to sort of think about to get there are so emotionally laden. They just make you feel horrified or sad, profoundly sad, or just all these things that you don't want to feel, even if in the end it's going to pay off with a happy ending. It's just sometimes the journey is too much of a struggle to get there, and that's what our sort of policy is all about. I know we have to share sad things sometimes. Things happen, but we always do our best to share them in a way that is not emotionally laden. We like to we'll present the facts, but we don't need to make a story out of it. We don't need to try to tell you, in a way that is manipulative, that it tries to get you involved. What we want to do is be able to say, look, this is what happened, and just tell it in a way that allows you to sort of remain detached, hopefully, and I know a lot of you feel so much that can be difficult, even so, and I apologize for that. But we do our part to try to minimize that, of course. And we try to minimize sads at all as far as we can. I wish that we could entirely, but sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. Fortunately, these kids, oh man, do you remember when they came in, they had that URI that would not quit. They were all like, their eyes were all gunky and they were sneezing, and it just couldn't get it to end, which I haven't thought about it in a while because it finally did end, and that's great. And then after that, we went through the ringworm for 3 months of ringworm, but they were over that too, and they're all just a bunch of healthy, wonderful kittens now. So it's that came out as a good ending too. The journey wasn't even that sad, but it worked out. So there we have it. Okay, let's open some boxes. Like I said, this is going to be a quick one, so I felt free to have a little chat with you because there's not that much to open. There's only 2 things here, really. These 2 boxes are both from Millet and Sydney. This one is not, though, so we're going to start there. And I just brought my real knife. I figured for this amount of stuff, I don't have to go get the box. So let's just see if I can get this open with my real knife. I think it's also glued. All right, we're going to have to cut through the end here. Hang on. We'll just try to do it carefully. Hi, Tutu. I see you keep coming over here to see what I got. I know. I'm trying to see it, too. Okay, there's a note right on top. That's perfect. Oh, it's a bag of toys. It's a few bags of toys. It says, oh, hello, Mr. A. Congratulations on the move and best wishes to you and Dr. DJ. Enclosed are 3 bags of toys for Mama Cloak, Romper, and Tutu's endowment. This is not you, buddy. This is not Romper. This is Blazer. You don't get any of that. Thank you for your love and dedication and hard work for all you do for the cats and kittens. Oh, well, thank you. You didn't write your name on your note, and I covered it up on the package, so I can't say who this is from now. Let me just uncover enough to say your first name. Rosemary. Okay. Rosemary, thank you very, very much. Look at this wonderful set of toys for Tutu. Actually, I probably don't even have to open it. We can just see it all from right here. That's nice, too. We got an octopus with a bell on it, a couple of those carrots that are supposed to be good for teething, which is good because they'll probably be getting to that right about adoption time. A rainbow kicker with some stars, pizza, chicken, chips, and a beer. 3 very shiny fish. Wow, can you see how shiny those are? I don't know if you can see that. We got 3 of the little loganberry mice, and then some kind of a wand. I wonder where the end of it is. Where is the end of it? Is the octopus the end of it? Yeah, I think it is. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, now we got to figure this out. Now we got to figure it out. Is that an octopus on a stick? It is. Okay, I think it is. Yes, octopus on a stick. All right, everybody's favorite. Oh, look at that. Well, that is yours, Tutu. It's going to be yours. I'm glad you like it already. Tutu is so crazy about chasing the toys when we play, and she normally will make a big growl if she catches a toy and anybody else is nearby. She wants them to stay away. I'm surprised she's not doing that yet for these guys. She must be feeling pretty good today. She normally is a big growler at the other cats. Anyway, it's good to see she likes her little octopus. That's great. You'll see more of that, kiddo, I promise. And then I think the other bags are going to be the same. We have one right here for Romper. He was just checking his out. And one right here for Mom, Cloak. Cloak also loves to play. She's not here. I don't know where she went. I think she went to the bedroom probably. She likes to go hang out in the bedroom with us. Hi, Tutu. Look at you. You fit right in that box, don't you? That's too cute. Cloak likes to go in the bedroom and hang out. She also just likes to follow me around quite a bit. I thought she would come back in here and hang out for Mailbag, but I guess I'm being too noisy for her. She is still very difficult to, I guess, touch. You can do it if you give her treats, if you throw down a bunch of crunchies on the floor and then you start petting her, she'll put up with it. She'll let you pet her. I've never had a case where she really will let me pick her up, although you might remember that when I was making an effort in the beanbag chair in her room, I did get her to come up on my lap a couple times, and I think that with a real concerted effort, probably her adopter could get her to be a lap cat eventually, if they were, slow, patient, gentle. But I think in general, what I was saying is that she loves to play. She really does love to play and chase toys. But lately, what she's been doing is taking a back seat to her kittens. If her kittens are there, she'll let them play and she'll just sit and watch. She doesn't want to try to get in there and sort of fight them for toys. She'll just let them have them, which is cute. That's a good mom thing to do. It's also a very good way to be social as a cat. I think you'll notice cats that socialize well with each other are always that way, where if one of them is on a toy, the other ones all sort of sit back and wait their turn or wait for the thing to come their direction. They're very good at sort of sharing their prey drive that way in general. Now, there's some cats that aren't like that at all. Tutu, for example, hasn't quite got that lesson. She'll jump right in and push everybody else out of the way and try to grab a toy and then growl and growl and growl to keep it to herself. But that's also a common thing, and it's fun. So, all right. So, as I said, both of these big packages are from Millet and Sydney. Rosemary, thank you one last time. They're going to love those toys. You know they are. Which end to open? I guess this end. All right. Perfect. Whoa. Okay, is it just packing material? Because this is a lot of packing material. Maybe you said that. I think you said that to me online or said it to somebody online, and I had forgotten until just this moment. That's what it is. It's a bunch of bubble wrap. It's little bubble wrap packages. That's really useful. And bubble wrap is not, surprisingly, considering it is a packing material, it's surprisingly hard to ship because it's so bulky. So I really appreciate you sending that. That's going to be really useful. I don't know if you guys have seen it on camera, but in the kitchen, I've been collecting all of the the pieces of long crumpled up paper that Amazon uses to pad out their boxes. Those and all of the old-fashioned brown paper bags from the grocery store I've been saving as well in piles because I figure those crumpled up are going to be fantastic for packing too. So I've got just tons of that, and the kittens think that it's for them to play in, so they keep knocking it over and pulling out the paper all over the kitchen, which is fun, I guess, but it definitely keeps me going. Anyway, we've got tons and tons of that stuff ready to go. This is the kind of paper I'm talking about right here that I've been saving, so there's a little bit more for us. So that's great. I see you also sent some other stuff for packing. Look at that, Millet and Sydney, thank you. We've got Please Handle with Care Fragile stickers. Awesome. I don't actually have any of those yet, so we'll put those on everything. We have stretch film, which I did. I bought this last time we moved, and it is really useful for it. It's like cling wrap, but it's a long piece of cling wrap, and this one comes with handles. And what you do is take it by the handle and then roll it around something, and it's great for things that are weird shapes that you want to keep them all contained. It's perfect, and you might know this from, you know, if you have seen things shipped a lot of times in the corporate world. They'll stack up a big pallet of boxes, and then they'll use cling wrap all the way around the pallet to make sure all the boxes stay in place. And it works great. Like 2 or 3 layers of cling wrap is impossible to break. It'll hold almost anything. It's crazy. So that's what this is for. It's really good. I haven't bought any of that yet, so that's awesome. These look like vacuum seal bags, which are great for, as it shows on the front, like big comforters and pillows and stuff. You put them in the vacuum bag, you attach your vacuum cleaner, and it just flattens the whole thing out. Like the stuff that we get shipped. If you've been watching Mailbag, you've seen a million times where we get something like a marshmallow bed, and it comes in a paper thin package, and then you cut into the plastic and it fills up with air and it just poofs up. This is how they do that, except they have an industrial machine that probably does it a lot stronger. But this is how you can do it at home, and it's fantastic for that. I used it to, when I put away, you remember when Orion came to visit, we set up the bed in the second annex for him. When I put that mattress away, I got a big mattress-sized one of these bags, and I put the mattress in there and attached the vacuum cleaner. It took a long time to get all the air out, but eventually it compressed that mattress down flat, and I rolled it up. It still took a lot of force to roll that thing up, but it's fantastic how you can save so much space using these things. They're great. So thank you for that. And then this is light, and oh, there's a label here. Edge foam protection corners for TVs or photo frames. Huh. This I have not actually seen before. When we moved here, we paid the shippers to manage packing the televisions, because that seemed like something that would be easy to break. And then if you remember, it was easy to break. They broke one. So was it 1 or 2? I know they broke at least 1, because I remember that, and I remember dealing with the insurance company. And the funny thing is that the insurance company wanted to pay for an even better TV than the one that we had broken. And at the time, there was some reason that I preferred getting the older TV that we had, you know, like something that was the replacement for the worse TV. I think it was something to do with the fact that one of them was LED or had a different kind of backlight or something, and I wanted that kind specifically. I can't remember what it was now. So yeah, I remember dealing with that. I had to talk to them. They were real easy, though. I was like, oh, no, you know, here's why it's different. It's not the same kind of backlight. And they were like, oh, okay, well, then we'll get you one that is. Easy. I mean, when you move, pay for the insurance on it, because they take care of you, and things can break. So there you have it. Okay, look at how cute that is. That's perfect. That's a very useful little thing. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Millet and Sydney. You guys have all taken care of us for moving. I really appreciate it. We've probably got enough now to make it all the way through. DJ and I still haven't actually started packing yet. We keep sort of putting it off until we know when we're going to move, I guess, or you know, until we know. It seems like at every turn I've been like, all right, it's time to start packing as soon as we get this next thing, and then the next thing comes back and it's not what we wanted. And we have to be like, okay, now we're going to wait another week. But I think this is basically the end of the road as far as that one property goes, and it's either going to work out and it'll be done, we'll know this week, or it's not, and we'll know this week, which would be, like I said, it'd be disappointing. But again, the nice thing is that you know, even though DJ has a particular date that she has to be in Pennsylvania, we don't really have any particular date when we have to be moved. You know, if we move ahead of time, then she can just stay here on she told me that she would just stay here on that fold-up mattress that we use sometimes when mom cats are pregnant, and she'll just hang out and wait until the last day and then put her stuff in the car and drive down. Or if it goes the other way and it ends up taking us too long to find a place, then she can always just rent an Airbnb down there, like she did when she was in resident and had to go visit and do residency, not resident, I think it was her last year of med school when she did what did they call them, internships or whatever. She went to several different hospitals across the country, did several different things in her last year of med school, and each time she rented an Airbnb for a couple of weeks or even a month, and it worked out fine. So we can always do that again. So my point being that as much as we'd like to get this over with, if we don't find anything else that we like as much as that place, we can wait. We'll wait until we do find something that we like that much. I think it was at least educational for us, because before that we were looking at houses and going, oh gosh, I don't know, it's really nice, but do we like it enough to do it, or is it going to work for us? And then when we saw this house, we were both like, that's it, that is the house, we know it is. And it's good to recognize that. So now as we continue to look, we don't have to really ask as much. If we have that feeling of, I don't know if this is the one, then it's not the one. We'll know the next time that one comes up where we have that feeling, we'll be like, all right, and we'll just wait for that to happen. I don't think that house it's very fun. It's nice. It's got a lot going for it. We loved it. It was the one, but the one is just it's shorthand. It does not literally the one. There's plenty of other houses that are just that good out there, and we just got to wait until one comes up for us. Or maybe we've got to wait. I don't even know that we have to wait. I'm hoping that we don't. I'm hoping that the seller sort of sees things the way that we do and recognizes that, and that we're done. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Okay, so, oh man, I can almost squeeze this stuff all in the box here. Yeah, enough to move it out of here anyhow. All right, thank you. That was Mailbag. It was short. I think that they're all probably going to be short from here until whenever we do move, which is good. I like that everybody is sort of respecting the fact that it's not a great idea to be sending us a ton of stuff that we're just going to have to move, or find some sort of way disposition for in the end. Plus, these guys have been here so long, they have a lot of endowments, so they're pretty well taken care of. Their adopters are going to have a ton of stuff to move out, especially because whoever adopts them, I'm probably going to be like, look, take this stuff, all this stuff that we're not moving, just whatever, take our sofa, take these chairs, take stuff, please. In fact, I was just thinking this morning about rolling these beanbags out in the garage and putting them up on like next door, one of those things where our neighbors could come over and take the beanbag chairs, because those aren't going to make the move either. I don't think, I do okay in them. It's not like they're bad for my back especially, but I just don't think they're the thing for us anymore. We did them for 10 years. That's enough, Plenty of stuff like that, actually, where it's stuff that is still works out just fine, but we've had it for long enough that we're done with it. It's time to open a new chapter and have different things. The big wooden cat trees, I think, are a prime example of that. We had someone that was a previous adopter that was interested in taking them and that just wanted to get the measurements and stuff and find out if they would fit. So that's still pending for us to do, but I've sort of been waiting. It hasn't seemed like a priority because we don't even know when we're moving yet. So it will come up at some point, though. All right, that was enough rambling. Thank you guys so much for listening to me. I really appreciate it. It's great for me to get a chance to chat with all of you, and I'm sorry that last week didn't work out so well, and this whole process has taken up a lot of time, and I apologize for that. But I really do appreciate our time together, and it's great. It's good for me. So thank you. All right, that's it. I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to get this stuff out of here. These kids will probably run around and play for a little while longer, and then we'll see what we do when we shuffle cats. Yeah, that's it. Okay, thanks. All right, I think that's the regular sound back on now. This will go down to the counters. This will go into our piles of packing stuff. You guys want to play with this? We've got tons of it. I know you like to play with it. Oh, but now I remember last time I left one of those in this room, they shredded it. It was all over the room in little pieces. I don't even know how they shredded that much. Oh, but they did. So I guess it was fun for them, though. So they can do it again.